What you've been practicing is disappearing. You didn't know that's what it was at the time, but that's what it was. 1,000 small daily rehearsals and being slightly less than you actually are, stretched over 20 years, until the performance became so fluent you mistook it for your personality. And now you walk through rooms that don't turn, leave conversations nobody remembers, and tell yourself that's fine. That's humility, that's being chill, that's not needing the attention. It isn't. It's the thing you trained for finally arriving. And here's the thing nobody really says out loud. Nobody sits you down when you're 12 and teaches you to be forgettable. You learn it. You learn it slowly over years by watching what got punished and what got laughed at, what made the room tighten and what made the teachers sigh. And somewhere along the way, your nervous system made a deal with itself. It decided that being ignored was safer than being rejected. And it built a version of you that specialized in not provoking a reaction. And now you walk through your adult life wearing the results of that deal. So let's start there. Let's start with what you've actually been doing. You soften your opinions before you share them, so that if someone pushes back, you can say you weren't really committed to it anyway. You laugh at your own ideas before anyone else gets the chance. That way, if they laugh too, it doesn't sting, because technically, you were in on it. You dress one notch below the room because standing out feels like asking for permission. You write messages and then delete the edge before you send them. You walk into a social setting and immediately find the wall. It's 1,000 small daily decisions to be slightly less of yourself than you actually are. And then at the end of the day, you wonder why nobody saw you. But think about what's actually underneath that. Because it's not humility and it's not manners. It's fear. Specifically, it's the fear of being witnessed, not the fear of failing. Because everybody fails, but the fear of someone watching you fail, and the fear of someone watching you try. Because if you try loudly and it doesn't work, there's no escape hatch. You can't pretend you weren't invested. You can't say it wasn't really the thing you wanted. You've been caught wanting something, and wanting something is the most naked a human being gets in public. So instead, you build a life where nobody's really watching. You kept your ambitions small enough to live inside your own head. You told nobody the real plan. You made sure that if you fell in private. And then you got exactly what you engineered. You got a life nobody's watching, and you called it peace. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable, because you have to follow that line all the way down. You wanted to be safe, so you made yourself small. You made yourself small, so nobody really saw you. Nobody really saw you. So nobody really knew you. Nobody knew you, so when you needed to be witnessed, there was no one there. And that absence, that silence, that room that doesn't turn when you walk in, that's the rejection you were trying to avoid in the first place. The thing you built to protect yourself from rejection is rejection. The strategy and the outcome are the same fucking thing wearing different clothes. You've been running from something you were busy constructing. Once you see that, you can't unsee it. Because it means the whole premise was wrong. And every day you keep doing it, you keep agreeing to it. You keep signing the same contract. You keep choosing the forgettable version of yourself, and then grieving the fact that nobody remembers you. You can't have it both ways. You don't get to disappear and be seen at the same time. So this is the part where most people want the tactic. They want the 5-step plan, the morning routine, the thing they can do on Monday that makes them magnetic by Friday. But there isn't one, because the problem was never behavioral. The problem was identity. You don't become impossible to ignore by adding something. You become impossible to ignore by refusing, finally, to subtract. You stop diluting. You stop pre-apologizing for your own existence. You stop walking into rooms already negotiating how much of yourself is acceptable today. You just arrive fully at the actual density you were built at, and you let the room deal with it. And you already know who you become when you stop. There's a version of you that exists for maybe 20 minutes at a time, usually late, usually after something's cracked open. A conversation that got honest, a night that went somewhere you didn't plan. And in those 20 minutes you stop editing, you say the thing. The room tilts slightly, and something in you recognizes itself. Then you go home, you sleep, and in the morning you pick the costume back up. Because the costume is familiar, and the other thing is terrifying. Because the other thing is you, uncovered, and there's no one in the room to blame if it doesn't land. So you file the 20 minutes away as a fluke, a good night, a one-off. It wasn't a fluke. The fluke is the other 23 hours and 40 minutes. The fluke is the shrinking. That brief, unedited version wasn't you having a good night. It was you not having to pretend for a while. And look, the people who already move like this, you know them, you've met them, you've been in rooms with them. They're not performing. They're not trying. They've just stopped editing in real time. They've stopped running every thought through the filter of what's acceptable before it reaches their mouth. They've stopped treating their own presence like an imposition they have to apologize for. And that's why rooms reorganize around them. Not because they demanded it, but because they stopped making themselves small enough to be ignored. So this is the thing I want you to carry out of here, because there's no fix, there's no protocol, there's only the recognition. You were not born to blend in with your own life. You were not built at this density by accident. Nobody is given a presence they're supposed to apologize for. And the world isn't walking past you because you're not enough. The world is walking past the version of you that you've been holding up in front of the real one, like a shield you forgot you were carrying. Put the shield down. Not tomorrow, not after the next win, not when you feel ready. Because you're never going to feel ready to be witnessed. And that's the whole point. You put it down now, in the next room you walk into, in the next sentence you don't soften, in the next opinion you don't pre-laugh at. Because you don't become impossible to ignore. You already are. You've just been rehearsing the opposite so long and so well that you forgot what you actually sound like at full volume. And the day you stop rehearsing is the day the rest of the world starts noticing you were here all along.